Hello and welcome to another House of Wisdom Lightest and Best video, where we look at the lightest and best offerings from a variety of companies. Today we're looking at the WE Ignition 715. WE Knives is a high-end production company from China. Before this knife, the 704 was their lightest and best offering to date, with a weight of 3.46 ounces. The Ignition comes in at a weight 0.3 ounces lighter at 3.14 ounces. The 605 was the WE's most compact edition, having a 3-inch blade, but it came in at a little over 4 ounces at 4.02 ounces. Now the Ignition, with its G10 scale and thin design, comes in at the lightest at 3.14 ounces. Just to note, there is a special carbon fiber version of the 704 that is still a little bit lighter. It comes in at 2.87 ounces. So in its standard version, this is the lightest and best of WE knives. In the special carbon fiber version, the 407 is a little lighter. We'll talk about some specifications. The blade length on this knife is 3.375 inches with a handle length of 4.5 inches. The total length of the knife is 7.875 inches. The weight of the knife is 3.14 ounces. And for size comparison, I have a well-known knife. It's the Benchmade 940. This is the carbon fiber version. Essentially, they're exactly the same size. So those of you who have the 940 know what the 714 WE Ignition is going to be like. The blade of the Ignition sports a drop point VG10 blade with a hollow grind and a slight recurve. And this recurve is just so very slight. You can see it here that if you have a fixed angle sharpener and don't use the rounded stones, you're probably going to knock this little tip off and it'll just become a conventional blade. The blade is two-tone with a black coated grind and satin flats. This knife also comes with stonewash grind and satin flats. The knife has a thumb ramp on the back with jimping for good purchase, and it has some swedging on the front part. Concerning the flipper on the WE 715 Ignition, it's best used in a light switch configuration. If you try to button push it, the detent is so strong that it really doesn't come out very well. But this knife is an amazing flipper, and it's on par with what I think is one of the best flipper in the world, which, as you guys know, is the ZT 450. This is a great flipper, and like the 450, it has a little bit of jimping on the front face of the flipper so that you can get a good purchase. One of the downsides is it flips great because of its detent. It has a thumb hole also, but you can deploy it with a thumb hole, but it kind of hurts your thumb a little bit. The detent is a little strong to comfortably deploy it, in my opinion, with the thumb hole. It's really designed to be a flipper configuration. There are other knives who have tried to walk this line. This has a thumb stud and a flipper on the Viper Storm, but the detent is soft, and so it's a little bit, you have to flip it a little harder to get the blade out. You can tell that the designers really wanted a softer detent, which allows it to be better deployed with the thumb stud. The same thing happened with the Lion Steel TRA. I can make this flipper fail every single time because it has a weak detent. It was designed to be deployed with a thumb disc rather than the flipper, and that's just a design decision they make. These knives, flipping them is a little like kissing your sister. Yes, it technically is a kiss, but it's just not what you're looking for. In contrast, the WE 715 Ignition, ooh, that detent is snappy and strong, and you don't have to try at all. You can't make it fail. I'm going to try to flip it as softly as possible, and it still completely deploys. It's a great flipper configuration. The handle on the knife on the show side is G10, and it comes in a variety of colors. This one is orange, but it also comes in blue and black. On the clip side, we have titanium with a stoned wash finished, and the back spacer is also titanium. It has a gear pattern on it. In case you want to use a reverse grip, you can get good purchase. The construction of the knife, it has this small back spacer as noted, but it's mostly a flow-through design, so this is a knife that will be easy to clean for you. The pivot of the knife runs on ceramic caged bearings. On the clip side, it has the WE proprietary star pivot, and then it has the Maker's Mark logo on a disc on the show side, which gives a nice aesthetic. And the proprietary pivot comes with the pivot tool in the bag, so you don't have to worry about getting it open. The lock on the knife is by a frame lock, and it has a lock bar insert and over travel stop. You can see the lockup on this is a good solid 30 to 40%, and this is what holds in your lock bar insert and over travel stop. So there's no sticking at all with the lock face on the tang, and the blade has good lockup both side to side and forward and backwards. The pocket clip on the knife is a 3D milled titanium clip. It is right or left-hand carry. Notice that on the left-hand carry, when the left-hand side is not in use, it has a lovely filler tab, and it has good retention. It has some 3 chevrons on it just for aesthetic value, and the WE logo. The ergonomics on the knife are good. It has a cutout for your forefinger and then a landing area for your other 3. And with a handle length of 4.5 inches, this knife is plenty of handle for even the largest hand. The action on the knife is good. There's a strong detent that favors the flipper, and a good thumb hole for the flipper also, which is a little weaker in deployment but can also be used. The signage on the blade is minimal. On the show side, it has nothing on the blade and has the WE logo on the pivot. And then on the clip side, it has the WE logo on the clip, and you can just barely see a very small VG10, the steel designation on the tang of the blade hidden behind this handle there. So the signage is minimal, very content with that. We'll talk about the value now. The knife runs at most retailers at about $125, and this has some stiff competition from other manufacturers. Many of the other manufacturers enter the market with nicer steel than VG10. For example, the Benchmade Bugout, which came out this past year, and the Spyderco Para 3 both come with S30V, and they're sold for a little bit less than the WE knife here. Also, Spyderco in its Native 5 release, this comes out for about $110, and it has a super steel, the S110V steel. It's a very well-made knife, so we have some competition. And then lastly, Spyderco makes its Delica in a ZDP 189 for less than $100, so that is a lot of competition for this WE knife. However, this WE knife has a wonderful action that is superior to the knives I mentioned before. So what do I think about the WE 715 ignition? I really like it. Are there opportunities for improvement? I would want to mention one thing, and that is its nature. WE knives' intention with this knife was to enter the market with a lower cost product, and so they stepped down a bit to VG10 steel from their usual M390 steel that they have on a large number of their other knives. And I think they just took a step too far. A lot of the other manufacturers, Spyderco, Benchmade, on their low-end entry knives, they'll have S30V steel, and I think that may have been a better choice for WE than stepping down to VG10. I think VG10 is a part of knife's past, but I don't think it should be a part of knife's future. What do I like about the knife, though? I like the low cost. It comes in at $125, which is a very reachable price, especially in view of the high quality of design. Look, on this knife, you have a lock bar insert, an over travel stop, you have ceramic bearings that it runs on, you have a world-class action. This guy flips just as well as any knife that I have. And it has great style. Note the two-tone blade. Doesn't that look great with the bird's eye thumb hole look there? The WE logo looks great. It looks artistic, and yet it sets the knife apart. And they have their proprietary star hardware, and they come with the pivot, so that really adds some distinction to the knife too. It's just a well-made knife. In summary, if you're looking for a low-cost entry into the world of WE, the Ignition 715 is one of their lightest and best offerings today. I highly recommend it.